Hey, this is Sam. I have a funny news story that happened Saturday that was very related to the astrology in the sky. You know, Saturday we had the full moon in Pisces. This is the chart of Saturday, Saturday morning. And you see Mercury is exalted, or it's in its exaltation sign, so it's about details and humor and communication and speech. And the moon is in Pisces, where Mercury is actually debilitated, so we tend to get some details sort of confused. The other thing is Venus had just changed signs and Mars had just changed signs as well. So there's a lot of planets sort of in transition. And it's a really funny news story on Saturday. This is from CNN. It's actually, what it shows is that there's a website in Iran that mistakenly sort of hijacked an article from the sort of farcical newspaper The Onion and portrayed it as a real news story. You see, this says Gallup poll: rural whites prefer Ahmedinijad to Obama. This is according to a mock news story in the newspaper The Onion, which is a joke newspaper. It's not a real newspaper. And the Fars news agency, which is the news agency of Iran, ran this like verbatim, like they just copied the article and ran it as an authentic piece of literature, saying that, you know, that many Americans actually prefer Ahmadinejad to President Obama. And, you know, it says here, add Iran's news agency to the long list of those hoodwinked by the satire of The Onion. And so it's really a trip that, and in fact, then they pulled the story once they found out that it was just a joke. And Ahmadinejad also went on record as saying, oh, I'm very popular. He actually gave a couple interviews where he said, I'm very popular. Even one of the newspapers said, I'm more popular than Obama. It's kind of it's really kind of strange, but it really shows this chart. This was a story that was done on Saturday. So while we had the moon in Pisces and, you know, waxing toward full, this is when this story broke. And, you know, we have this exalted Mercury, so of course you would say, well, if Mercury's exalted, then they would be getting those details right, correct? Well, not exactly. I mean, it really all depends. We all get to see the kind of, you know, farce element behind it, and we're getting the details straight while they're not. So there's always the possibility that, you know, one person is messing up the details so the other ones can see it clearly, you know, or see it straight. So this really showed me, or for me it was really kind of reminiscent of that energy, especially with the moon in Pisces, where Mercury is debilitated full. So it was full moon in Pisces, and Mercury was opposite in Virgo, so it was aspecting and bringing light to the, you know, that sort of mistake of what was written in the newspaper and what was communicated, and then a bit of sort of egg on the face, you know, in retrospect. So I thought that was a pretty interesting sort of expression of the planetary energy on Saturday, especially with a full moon, because then it was quite public, and it was a source of comedy for a lot of people, which is certainly reminiscent of an exalted Mercury. So anyway, I think it was kind of cool.